David's heart raced with a mixture of excitement and disbelief as he turned the key to his new home. The Victorian-style house, with its gabled roof and ivy-draped walls, sat nestled in a serene neighborhood where houses rarely came up for sale. It was a deal that seemed almost too good to be true. A spacious, charming home, at a price that was undeniably a steal. In the first few weeks, David immersed himself in the joy of setting up his new life. He admired the antique fixtures, the creaky wooden floors that told stories of yesteryears, and the sprawling backyard that promised serene evenings. Life was peaceful, almost idyllic, until the day the knocks began. It started innocuously enough. A knock at the door one sunny afternoon revealed a middle-aged woman with kind eyes and a warm smile. "Could I borrow some sugar? I can't reach mine at home. It's on the top shelf," she said, her voice tinged with a hint of embarrassment. David, ever the good neighbor, obliged without a second thought. "Of course, just a moment," David said, fetching the sugar. He handed it to her, noticing her hands trembling slightly. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Oh yes, just a bit unsteady on my feet these days," she replied with a weak smile before shuffling away. Days turned into weeks, and the knocks grew frequent. Each visitor brought an increasingly peculiar request. One afternoon, a man in an old-fashioned suit, complete with a bowler hat, asked for a candle to read by during a blackout. David found the request odd, considering the power was working perfectly. "A blackout, you say? But the lights are all on," David remarked, puzzled. The man sighed, looking distant. "In my time, the lights often betrayed us. A candle was a reliable friend," he said cryptically before vanishing into the twilight. Another day, a woman in a 1950s-style dress sought a phonograph needle for her record player. "It's for my favorite vinyl. Can't listen to Elvis without it," she said, a nostalgic glimmer in her eyes. The requests soon turned bizarre. A young boy, clad in early 19th century attire, appeared one foggy morning, asking for help in catching a runaway horse. David, though bewildered, found himself playing along, searching the neighborhood for a horse that didn't exist. "Are you sure it came this way?" David asked, scanning the empty streets. The boy nodded vigorously. "He's my only friend," he said with a sadness that seemed too heavy for his young age. On another occasion, a woman dressed in Victorian garb asked for assistance with lighting her oil lamp, her hands trembling as she held the ancient relic. "It's so dark at night without it. I can't stand the darkness," she whispered, her voice quivering with fear. It was during a casual conversation with a local historian that David first heard the unnerving truth. "It's the strangest thing, Mr. Thompson," David said. "Lately, I've been getting these odd visitors at my house, each asking for something peculiar." "Odd visitors, you say? What kind of requests?" the historian asked, with a hint of concern in his voice. "Well, there was a woman asking for sugar because she couldn't reach hers, a man wanting a candle during a supposed blackout, and several others." As David was describing his peculiar visitors, Mr. Thompson's expression grew solemn. "David, did you know that each of your visitors matches the description of a previous owner of your house?" "Previous owners? But how?" "Yes, and there's more. Each of them died in your house, under circumstances oddly similar to their requests. The woman with the sugar, for instance. She died after falling from a stool trying to reach the sugar on a high shelf." "Died? In my house?" David exclaimed, shocked to his very core. "I'm afraid so. And the man asking for the candle, he fell down the stairs during a blackout years ago. It seems your home has become a spectral echo of these past tragedies." That's impossible," said David in a trembling voice. "Are you saying my house is haunted?" "It appears so, David," the historian nodded gravely. "These spirits are somehow tied to your home, possibly seeking closure for their untimely demises." Shaken, David returned home. And as the sun dipped below the horizon one evening, another knock echoed through the house. David opened the door to a man in early 19th century attire, his eyes carrying a depth of sorrow. "Can you help me? I need to fix the railing on the staircase. It's loose." and I fear someone might get hurt," he pleaded. The realization hit David like a wave. This man was the original builder and owner of the house, who had died falling from the very staircase he never managed to fix. David now understood that these spirits were not merely trapped, but seeking closure for their untimely demises. With newfound determination, David spent the following weeks repairing what the previous owners could not. He fixed the loose railing, replaced the old electrical wiring, and even found a home for a stray horse that had appeared one misty morning. With each repair, the visits ceased, and the house grew quieter, more serene. Eventually, the knocks stopped altogether, and David felt the house truly become his own, free of its haunted past. In helping these lost souls find peace, David found his own. His home was no longer just a structure of wood and stone. It was a testament to the lives that had passed through its doors. And in its halls, the echoes of the past finally found their rest,